I didn't think it was for me to really talk to her. I didn't have anything to say. And I had my own reasons why I felt that way. And she understood that. Assalamu alaikum, peace. It's Fatimah, Coach Fatimah, 1/3 of Outstanding Personal Relationships and co-author of the new book, Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored. Okay, ladies, in this video, I want to address something, and this is the 3 things your co-wife needs to hear. Now, this is if you really want to reach out to your co-wife, whether she be an initial wife or a subsequent wife, it really doesn't matter. However, if you are a subsequent wife and you want to reach out to an initial wife, I understand why that might be a little uncomfortable or intimidating for you. I get it. I'll just offer you some of the things that my co-wife, Coach Nyla, did for me that really, really helped a lot. And then I'll share some things that you could possibly do too. And it might match what she did. And it could go both ways. One thing that my co-wife did is she gave me some space, and some of the statements that she made that really helped. And they weren't directly to me, but they just really helped. One was that she kind of let me know full well how it was for her to kind of approach me. And it was via text. And she said that she was nervous. And what it did was it gave a human quality to her that stood outside of just being a wife. Now, that's an honorable attribute to have and title to have, is being a wife. However, it let me know that she was willing to step outside of that label of wife and say, look, this is how I am right now, as far as reaching out to you as an individual, just as Fatimah, and she's just Nyla. That's it. Not Nazir's wife or wives, you know? So it gave me that human quality, and I was able to see her as someone that was not just married to the same man as me. She was like, I'm a little nervous. This is, my nerves might have the best of me. And it took a lot of courage to do that. And I'm telling you, it had to take a lot of courage to do that, because I knew me enough to know that during that time I was rather unapproachable and intimidating, because I didn't have anything to say. I did not have anything to say. I was dealing with my own hurt. And I just didn't think polygyny was something that was for me to get involved in. I didn't think it was for me to really talk to her. I didn't have anything to say. And I had my own reasons why I felt that way. And she understood that. I think she really understood that from the beginning. I don't think it needed to be explained to her. I don't think anybody needed to break it down. No, she got it. She understood. And she wanted to clean it up and clear it up, because there were so many, not that it was a mess, but there was loose ends, and it was good to say, let me kind of clean this up a little bit and have a conversation and let her know what my intentions were. And that helped a great deal, because it took away so much judgment that I had, because I'm like, I don't know her. I know of her. She wasn't a stranger, but I'm like, I don't know her. There's some things I disagree with that were done. And not to say they were horrendous or this, extraordinarily disrespectful stuff. No, not any of that. But I knew that certain conversations needed to be had that weren't had yet. And I knew that some of that was my fault. Yeah. Oh, yes. Because I knew she was willing to talk, because that's what our husband said, and he wouldn't make that up, and she wouldn't say it unless she meant it. She wouldn't. I mean, if she was willing to talk, that's what she said, and that's what it was. I wasn't willing to listen. I just wasn't at a place yet, because again, I thought that polygyny was something for him that I didn't need to get involved in. Like, I felt like he didn't need my help. That's what it was. And I felt like she definitely didn't need any help from me because she wanted to marry a man that was married already. And I just was like, she don't need no help from me. She got the husband she wanted. I don't need to get in that. And that is exactly how I felt. That's how I felt. I didn't want to get in it. I'm like, I'm not needed. There's nothing that I can say that would benefit the situation. So I didn't think either one of them needed anything, any input from me, any words from me, nothing. I was like, he knows what he wants to do. She knew who she wanted to marry. They don't need me in it at all. Her husband is somewhere shaking his head as he should, but that's how I felt. But and however, I don't know. I just think that had I said something to her sooner, then her nerves wouldn't have been as kind of like, I don't know what to say to her. Had I invited her to a conversation, that would have been better than her trying to figure me out, because that's what it was, is figuring me out.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace. I'm Coach Fatimah, one of the co-founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships. And I'm here to talk to you about the Nourishing Fulfillment Counseling Program. What I do is help women from all walks of life obtain information in the areas of relationship wellness, emotional resilience, self-confidence, and inner discovery for best results for their future success. Growth is about implementation for best practices, for best results for your future. So the Nourishing Fulfillment Counseling Program is here for you to help you kind of weed through some of those negative thoughts of self-limiting beliefs so that you can move forward and attain your goals so that you live a truly fulfilling life. So if you want to join me for my Nourishing Fulfillment Counseling Program, be sure that you visit me at CoachFatimah.com for details and start your Nourishing Fulfillment Counseling session today. I'll see you and I look forward to working with you. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.
And she knew I didn't want to talk, but I like that she took a step and going, I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to approach Fatimah. I'm going to send this text. I'm going to try to, almost extend an olive branch. And that felt good to me. Because I said, if she's willing to do that, I can only imagine the courage it took in order for her to do it. And I wasn't like stalling her out or anything like that. I just was like, you know what? I don't know what I would say. I don't know what I could offer. I don't know. And then some said, just tell her how you grew up, like you do anybody else you meet. And we did. And I said, you know what? Let's just not make it about him once we do talk, because I had to kind of understand how she grew up, who she was, what was life like for her before polygyny. Why did she want to choose polygyny? Why did she, that stuff. And we had lunch, and my co-wife has a few allergies, and I put a sandwich together, disassembled in a bag, and put some ingredients and some little things. And I said, she will put her sandwich together because I don't quite know all her allergies. She's not one big giant walking allergic person. However, I needed to be very mindful because I had a cousin that was allergic to a lot of stuff, and people would put things in foods and they didn't know what her allergies were. And she's since passed away. But one time she was at an event at work, and it was a potluck, and she ended up getting a hold of something, and it put her in the hospital for 2 weeks. And she was very sick. So I was not ready to roll the dice on my co-wife. I was like, nope, I'm going to put the stuff in the sandwich. She didn't like condiments. I knew that. I love them. And she put her sandwich together. We ate outside, and I'm telling you, we spent the day together. And I just drove around after that, just drove around the lake, and we just talked. And I found out so much about her, and everything started to make sense. And I felt like such a bonehead because I'm like, I could have had this conversation a long time ago, but it was best that I didn't because I wasn't in the space to listen. See, when you want to have a conversation, our co-wives need to be heard as much as we do. and to not meet them with judgment. That's a big one, because if we go into the relationship and we meet them with judgment, it's hard for them to open back up again. It's like it doesn't feel safe. So to invite them to a conversation, just know that we can listen to and humanize them as someone that didn't have this big, giant, diabolical plan to take our husband. Nobody could take our husband. My husband's 200 and something pounds. Nobody's taking him anywhere. You're not taking that brother anywhere. If he goes, it's because he wanted to go, because he's not easily moved if he doesn't want to. So that was important. No, they have a side, they have a story, not meeting them with judgment, and that might be more than 3 things, but though at the core, they have a story to tell. And sometimes we might start our healing journey. I know I started mine with my co-wife's story. I'd started in some spots, but the healing that needed to go on between myself and her happened because she was willing to text me and say, I'm nervous and I don't, before my nerves take over, I'd like to talk to you. And I reassured her that I was just a woman just like her. And I agreed with her that we did need to talk. And I just brought food. I was like, food brings people together. And I didn't want it to be awkward, and I wanted her to be comfortable and eat and know that she could eat and know that she could relax. Because the last thing you want to get met with, I'm sure, as a wife that wants to be heard and wants to understand and connect, is you don't matter, and I'm gonna make it hella awkward, and I'm gonna make it real rigid and judgy, and I'm just gonna be there so I can size you up. That's it. It's not effective, because you never know who you're gonna need. You never ever know who you're gonna need. So just keep that in mind. And there's no rush. However, you don't want to take too long, so that the questions that you want to ask her, you can ask. Just know that they don't need to be rapid fire and uncomfortable, but giving each other a safe space to communicate matters. So in the comments, put safe space. And if you made it this far through the video, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, share the video, because sharing is caring. Give each other a chance to tell your story, okay? And also make sure that you are following us at Outstanding Personal Relationships on YouTube and on Facebook and on IG. We're Outstanding Relationships. Head on over to our polygyny education campus by visiting polygamyeducation.com for details, so that you can be a part of our community and our meet and greets. This is where you can really continue your polygyny education. And we have live classes twice a week, one hosted by Coach Nyla, one hosted by myself. And you can just interact with each other without having that judgment that I was speaking about, because this is a private community that is troll free. It's troll free. And if you're interested in coaching or counseling, visit me at CoachFatimah.com for details on that as well, or Coach Nyla at CoachNyla.com for details. So with that being said, I'm going to leave you guys with some GLC. Make sure you're growing intentionally, loving fearlessly, and connecting on a higher level every single day. I'm Coach Fatimah. I'll see you guys in the next one. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.